tried to go on, could bring it on. There's only one go around. You only get one go around. Time to choose a life and bend it to your will. Hold on with all your might. It can fail you still. Divide the things you found out into right or wrong. Sure you can be drowned out. Every thought a glowing sun. There's only one go around. You only get one go around. Slide into the dark, or step into the light. There's only one go around. You only get one go round. When I call out to you through the dark, you light my way. Somehow you see some good in me. Not a fault would you betray. Your nature's so sweet and kind. If you should ever go, I'd lose my mind. You're warmth to feed my soul. One part of the treasure that you bring. When the days lie low, you pick it up and make it sing. Your nature's so sweet and kind. If you should ever go, I'd lose my mind.
Tarnation TV is the place to be on Sunday evening. Here we are at the ASR Racing League, All-Star Racing League, here at Talladega Superspeedway. Sorry, Burnt Screwdrivers Raceway, because BSR is the end-all be-all track when it comes to Talladega. My name is Blaine Donlin. I'm running this thing solo this evening. It's the 14th of September. This is race number 2 of ASR's Season 2 now, Sunday Night Superspeedway Series. So let's see if we can get Brian Wolf down here if he's ready to talk to me. We'll wait for him to show up and get this thing on the road here. Yeah, we've got a good crop of guys. We've got about 19 cars on the track right now. Get this race going. Of course, everybody piles in at the last second. We were kind of wondering about half an hour ago, like, gee, there's not a whole lot of people here. And now it's go time, and everybody flooded.
Let me know when you're ready.
Anytime you're ready, Brian.
Oh, you're live now?
Live right now. How's it going, dude?
Oh, good. Hang on. Let me have somebody bring me down.
Roger. Tonight's race, of course, is 66 laps in length, running 2x fuel frequency. Gives us around 19 or so laps. Trying to get Brian Wolf down here and talk a little bit about
Blaine. Sorry, I'll get there.
Brian's working on it.
I'm on the golf cart right now.
Roger that. There, hey, there he is. Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Okay. All right, so we're live on the air?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're just looking at current standings after one race. So, yeah, David Chin in the lead. He's got you beat.
Yeah, and he's here tonight.
Yeah, so is Jeffrey. Everybody showed up at the last second, I just noticed. We got 20 people online right now, so.
That's cool, man. Yeah, it's a good turnout tonight. Real pleased with that. We're going to have some fun, man. We had a little bit of an emergency at the beginning of the day here. We couldn't get the track loaded again, but again, my fault. My monkey fingers couldn't press the right buttons, and we got it figured out, and here we are. So, but yeah, we're ready to go into race 2, man. We're cooking.
So I'm just eating some food. I can mute my microphone while I'm shoveling, so that it's like, hey, somebody else could do the talking. Yeah. So yeah, race number 2, season number 2. Switched up the track. Everything's the same. Everything else remains the same. And 8-race season. No fancy business with points or nothing. We're just counting points right to the end. But you mentioned today that your parade lap, which we will be going into in about 2 minutes, will be a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, that's right. As the whole world knows now, we faced this tragedy too many times, man, and they got a good one. Charlie Kirk was just he just was a shining light of, that light consisted of faith and hope and truth and courage. And he was a guy that went around to these colleges. He started that organization Turning Point, because we really need to turn things around against all, not against, but, concerning all these social issues that we have that, these young kids face today. And like I said, he was just a truth teller, and all he wanted to do was have a conversation. He wanted to start a dialogue to get these kids to not be told what to think, but taught how to think. Mm-hmm. That was his big thing, and he always told the truth, when he would sit out in those tents outside these college campuses,
well,
with a big sign.
He's that meme, right? The guy sitting at the table with the sign, "Change my mind."
Change my mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
Charlie
then people
Kirk.
took that and they write whatever they want on the sign. But I just realized, I'm like, why does this guy look so familiar? Because I don't really watch much of the news, to be honest. And of course, you can't get away from a guy being assassinated. That's horrible. I'm like, this guy looks familiar for some reason. And then I realized he's that guy. And the crazy thing too was he was doing a speech. Where was it? Utah Valley University.
Right.
And he was talking about school shootings.
Right. Yeah. He was talking, he always, the topics were always this wokeism and liberalism and stuff. And he invited his opponents to come up and ask him questions or like the sign said, prove him wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And nobody seemed to be able to do it. And, and all he wanted was a conversation, and they murdered him for it, so he's a martyr. You know what I mean? He's right up there with, I hate to say this, and I hate to keep having to do these tributes and stuff like this for people that were losing. But I mean, like we talked about earlier, we put him up there with JFK, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King. He was that big. I mean, this is
all the big speakers, the big talkers. Especially like Martin Luther, because he wasn't a president.
Right.
And that like you shouldn't. Obviously, like world leaders are always way bigger targets, but and like with Lincoln and Kennedy. But guys like King and guys like Kirk, they're just. For the people and up there, like the Bard back in the day, speaking from the top, they're just trying to communicate with people, and then whoever doesn't disagree, it makes no sense to do what they did. But
I like the one. I mean, I'm not trying to make light of any of this. Okay, they're just now going into qualifying, and I'm scratching, so we got a minute.
yeah.
So, like I said, I hate having to do these. I hate having to do these tributes and stuff like that. I'm sorry, they're whispering in my ear.
Yeah.
But it's something. It's all this week we saw all these sports teams coming out. NASCAR had a big thing for him. And that one winner at Bristol this weekend. Is this for you, Charlie, and stuff like that. So I mean, this is what we can do. You know what I mean? So this first pace lap we're going to do in silence. We're not going to say anything until after. Between we start the engines and between the green flag, after we pass the green flag start, then it's on. You know what I mean? But
Gotcha.
We want to keep that first lap, that pace lap, in silence and just kind of think about him and maybe do a little prayer for his wife and family and all of his employees and just everybody involved with the man, because it's a tremendous gut punch. You know what I mean? And if you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, I implore you to, look him up. Don't look up the violent part. You don't want to see that. I accidentally saw it, and now I wished I hadn't. But
yeah.
So
look up what he was
look him up.
Fighting
look,
for,
look what he was about. Yeah, like I said, he was just a figure of courage and hope and faith, and and he told the truth. You know what I mean? He was always just wanted the truth. That's it. And I saw an interview with him, a previous interview with him. That's they asked him, how do you want to be remembered? And he said, I want to be remembered for my faith, number one, and number two, courage. You know what I mean? And that's what he was. You know what I mean? And he just was a light that now is it. They didn't douse him at all. They didn't silence him at all. They just, now it's going to echo. It's,
Well, now it's like even like me who didn't know who he was. Now I know who he is because, unfortunately, because of what happened.
Right.
But it's, like any of the stuff, it's just, like you said, it doesn't make any sense.
You look at the good stuff that he did and just all the lives that he touched and turned around. You know what I mean? And he's, and he did it in such a faithful way. You know what I mean? He was like I'm probably wrong on this, but he was like the perfect combination of science and religion. You know what I mean? He told the truth, you know what I mean? But he kept his faith, and his faith was most important to him. And that poor family, our hearts go out. You know what I mean? This whole country is just, is in shock and just we're suffering, and
you can't seem to get ahead, right? It's like something just keeps happening.
But, at the same time, it has lit a fire in a lot of, people saying, this has got to stop. We're not taking this anymore. You know what I mean? This is going to stop, and unfortunately, it has to do with gun violence, not guns. I'm pro NRA. Let's get that right, because we do cannons race and all that stuff. And we do the end gun violence, race every year. So, he wasn't just, it wasn't about the Second Amendment. It was about the First Amendment, right to free speech. And they murdered him for it. So can't even begin to tell you how wrong that is. But, our hearts go out, and this race tonight is dedicated to him, of course, and his family. And we just hope they find some kind of comfort somewhere, in their faith, So yeah, that's it. We're ready to head into happy hour here.
Good
And
old happy hour.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to jump back up myself and risk maybe falling off the server, but qualifying's over, so I can come right back anyway. So that's okay.
And we got you on whisper button too, so I can keep in touch with you on track throughout the race.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm sorry Rod couldn't make it. We've had to make some adjustments here and there on our time and starts and stuff like that, but it seems to be working out. But we'll get him back real soon. And, I hope he did well racing today because, he races his karts and stuff. And we hope we did well today. So we'll see him maybe next week or, sometime a little bit down the road. I know you're not going to be here in October.
Yeah, October's a no-go for us.
Yeah. We, you and the wife are like, the Addams family in October. So
that's exactly right. Yes. Don't call us. It's like we can do like Sundays or weekends are tough. Like we could still do like our Maverick races on Tuesday, although Maverick's only got one race on a Tuesday in October. And then with RTG's Thursday races, two of those will have to probably be pushed just because they land inside our holidays. But either way, once October's out of the way, we're full go.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's very cool. And listen, we want to give a shout out too to Nate Balser. He's got that cancer race coming up, so we wanted to give a shout out to him. Collectively here, our league. Our head admin, Dave Chin, along with our sponsor, Bryant Motorsports, has sent a fairly generous donation over his way to go to the Breast Cancer Foundation or, to them. So
Fight
directly
for the cure,
the Fight for the Cure. So we're real proud of that. And we wish him the best. We hope that race is a huge success and he raises we hope to inspire people to, to donate to that and, tune in and watch. I know that's going to be a spectacular event. And we got some exciting announcements coming up too, probably in the next few weeks before you leave us in October, coming up the gears are already turning for season 3 around here. So we're rocking and rolling, man. We're having some fun out here.
Yeah, it's always fun coming down here and watching you guys do this thing. And now we've got 20 people here. Of course, I'm one of them. So 19 cars on the track. A solid field for a Sunday night. Lots of options in the NASCAR 2003 community to race, and it's awesome to hit the 20 mark for drivers.
Really cool.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's really cool. And like I said, in the next few weeks, we got some exciting stuff coming up for season 3. We got some pretty big plans for the champion of season 3, and maybe that's the top 3 podium drivers are gonna be glad they showed up and got those spots. But anyway, that'll be in a few weeks. And let's see, we've got 2 minutes left to go till the green flag. So again, few moments of silence for Charlie Kirk and his family. Our hearts, may God bless you. Our hearts go out to you. And that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, we'll take care of it. The parade lap dedicated to him. And you've probably got to get back up there and do some administration stuff. So, yeah, man, thanks for coming down and chatting with me in the pre-race. And, we'll get this thing going.
I may fall out here in a second because I got to kind of do this myself. I can't whisper to Postal.
You want me to try to do it? I think I can, actually. 1 second. Sometimes
I guess you could come right back if you fall out.
That's true. Yeah, I'll put you up there right now. There he goes. Mission complete.
10 forward, Blaine. Thank you, buddy.
So there you go, Brian Wolf. And like he said too, big thank you there to Bryant Motorsports. You can see the Bryant Motorsports Auto Sales logo on the side of the screen right there. Sponsoring the season. Up front with the, season 2 and season 1, no hesitation to just be like, we want Tarnation TV for the whole thing. So thank you very much to David Chin and his crew over there. Brian Wolf of Fluid Studios, in cahoots with these guys to kind of pull me in here. Rod can't make it today. They had a double feature tonight. So he's probably rolling in right about now to the house, to unload all that stuff. And he didn't, that's the trick with this. If you can't get in here to make qualifying, you can't get into the race server at all. So unfortunately, Rod could not make it. But, with winter coming and, obviously real-time racing on the tracks and whatnot, especially where we live in the northern part of the country, there's a lot of snow that comes in the wintertime. So that'll free Rod up a little bit for Sundays. But as you can see there, the points standings from last week, there's only been one race, and that was last Sunday. David Chin won that. Brian Wolf, Jeffrey Elliott, Chuck Taylor, Dennis McCarthy, Brad Otto, Rodney Sullins, Dale Shalinsky, Perry Bond, ASR Postal, Brian Rawson, Greg Palmer, John Godfrey, and C. Jackson. The 14 drivers that started last week. And this week we got 19, so that list will be a little bit longer next week. Of course, at the end of the race this evening, the results will be unofficial, just because, post-race reviews have a lot to do with, adjusting points, and if guys were deemed to, not serve penalties properly, they will be adjusted. But yeah, thanks to all the drivers, of course, for coming out tonight. Thanks for everybody watching on YouTube. This broadcast, of course, using the brand new vertical ticker, which gives leagues a choice now. I have some leagues already set up with the horizontal one. Brian wanted to switch to this, so hopefully it works out. We're headed to the parade lap right now. We will give Mr. Charlie Kirk, who unfortunately passed away last week, September 10th. Give him a moment of silence on this parade lap. And then we'll get to some racing. 66 laps on the clock tonight. 2X puts us in about a 19-lap window for fueling. Tires not so much of a big deal. You can see there, Jeffrey Elliott has qualified first. And beside him, Greg Palmer. So all you hear when these guys roll off will be the sound of the engines. Let's see here. Yeah, we've got Elliott, Palmer, Bond. Anyway, moment of silence begins now. We'll join you in one lap. Rest in peace, Charlie. And there we are, off to a roaring start. I see what they're doing. I thought Brian wanted the parade lap to be a moment of silence. It looks like lap 1 is a moment of silence. Sorry about that. Okay, because I can't follow instruction, now they will kick it into high gear, and away we go. Carry on, Charlie Kirk. And I need to start following instructions a little bit better, but hey, we got 2 laps of silence. Jeffrey Elliott pulling these guys down the back straightaway right now. As we mentioned before, they have made the change, the Burt Screwdriver's Raceway here, which means, oh no, the 74 goes around. That's Robert Spring. The green flag remains up. That's interesting. Let's rewind that. I mean, he went around in front of a couple of cars for sure, right? Like, what's happening there? Wonder why this is not a yellow. He's got cars coming, but what? Maybe that's why. Because the thing somehow kept driving straight. Huh. Okay. I guess because it's still pointed in the forward direction. I guess that they just leave the green flag out. So that'll work. That broke the field up a little bit. I'm assuming that the 74 took some damage on that. Take a closer look at his car there, Jeffrey Elliott. He's fallen back there to about 9th place as we were checking out that replay. So your new leader is 3G Greg Palmer in the 22 up front. Followed by Ken Roberts, Chuck Taylor. It's just... It's given me that error the last couple days. I don't know why. It'll just be momentary. It'll get back to normal quick. I push out a 1080p stream here with 60 frames per second and usually do not have a problem. But maybe it's something's just running in the background that I forgot to shut off. So there's Robert Spring back there. Let's take a look at that car so we can see. It doesn't look like there's any damage. He hit with the front. And with the rear, but there's a little bit of a dent in the rear. But besides that, it looks okay. Fanning out 3 wide back here. Got Perry Bond going high. Looks like Jeffrey Elliott's going up there too. John Godfrey's going to go up the middle. Paglia on the 28 right behind him. A lot of the same names. If you were watching our broadcast yesterday, a lot of the same names here again tonight. These guys love Superspeedway racing. Yesterday at the Primetime Racing League, they do the shootout on Saturdays, which means they do Daytona and Talladega, so they do 2 shorter races. And we come over here today to ASR to run a full-blown Talladega race. Brian Wolf down at the inside there. And last week's winner, David Chin, right in front of him. Sponsoring the broadcast this season and last. Thank you, Mr. David. He also pops in on the streams from time to time at other tracks and other leagues, which is really, really super cool. Three laps led by the number 22, Greg Palmer, and Ken Roberts will get the lead on that one. The other 2 laps have been led by Jeffrey Elliott, who has now fallen down to 12th position. Part of a strategy move, I'm thinking, by Elliott. Move to the back. It's a long race. These guys they're not really, there's a lot of movement out here is what I'm trying to say. They're not really tucking into line right now. There's sort of a lot of movement, but they're very spread out here. There's cars kind of all over the place, but they're all in the draft. It looks like they want to go 3 wide, but there's just not enough room sometimes. See, bringing up the rear there, you've got Perry Bond and Jeffrey Elliott just out of the draft at the back. Not a bad thing this early in the race. Greg Palmer solid holding down that bottom line, followed by Brian Rawson. Right behind him, C. Jax. Got to watch those cars. The 034 and the 80 of Ed Finley look identical. Who else is that? You can tell who's teammates out here. Brad Otto as well. If I remember correctly, last week's race was similar driver turnout. We only had, I believe it was 1 caution flag. I'd have to go back and look at that. There's usually another one, an additional one after, because people start wrecking each other after the race is over, and that actually counts towards a caution total, but we usually just drop that number. And hey, you know what? Put the word out there. Rod unable to make it this evening. Andrew Miller, I also contacted him, and he's got his own broadcast going on there at Top Strikester. Jeffrey Elliott, guys that would help me co-host. Unable to co-host, if anybody wants to give it a shot. Rodney Sullins was another one. I've got a short list of guys who'd like co-hosting, so if you wanted to give it a shot, most people are busy. That's the problem with Sundays in this sim. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of different broadcasts and a lot of different leagues, and it's pretty tight. There's people who want to drive because they're going for points. A lot of these leagues offer up prizes. Palmer trying to make that car real wide. The 6 is now beside him with help from the 034 of CCR Jax. The 81 helping there too, ASR Berge. Man, Jax is just working his way to the front. Leaving Palmer behind. Getting it done before the first pit cycle, which will probably be coming within the next 10 laps. So if you're going to get up there and lead a lap, that's the way to do it. You can see that 22, though, right on the bumper of the 6 on that middle line. Able to pull back ahead. unless they can get right under the bumper. You see how close the 22 is to the 6, and the 81 is not that close to the 34. That's why they pull farther ahead, because they're closer together. A little bit more amplified on the aerodynamics the closer you are. This is a great camera angle to show draft and bump drafting down the back straightaway. Great exit on that turn. Give the 6 a little bit of a push. And the 55 didn't push the 22. That's interesting. Oh, Jackson might actually get his lap led. A great push from the 81 of Berge there to get the 034 of CCR Jacks to the front. Oh, that's a little bit too much of a push. And they're down off the racing line also. Yellow flag out. So there comes Perry, and unfortunately, we've got some tore up race cars. Just enough. I'll load that up there. We'll rewind that. Coming out of the tri-oval too. It's kind of a strange. You should be able to push there. It shouldn't really make an issue or cause any problems, but we might get a better look at that from the helicopter camera. Right up and down. Oh yeah, it's a little bit of a sideways. They were kind of moving sideways. You can see. Get the camera up on top here. You can kind of see how the 81 sort of moves to the right as he pushes. The bump draft would work, but you got to be square. So that's the issue there. Scraping too much paint off the bumper, spun him right around. So I'm assuming now you're going to see once the pits open up, the 81 will be coming down. Most guys, I mean, everybody's going to do it right now. I can't see anybody staying out after that, because we are at lap number 14. Should get on pit road at number 1 here. Number 2. See the flag man signifying closed pits. As the field comes around, flagman will change that flag to green and allow everybody to pit. Of course, if you are a lap down, there he goes, he opens up the pits now. If you are 1 lap down, you cannot pit with lead lap cars. We are very early in this race. Robert Spring is a lap down, so he will have to stay out. Trying to make everybody nauseous. Got to line that up with I do not like the pit lane cameras. Race off pit road number 6 will get it. That's Brian Rawson in the number 6. Well, Rawson will get it, but currently it's Chuck Taylor, because Chuck decided to stay out. We're going to find out this lap around if Chuck has decided to stay out to get the points, or if he's just going to remain out there and think maybe that he can get another 5 laps. And I've never seen anybody do that. It would be kind of a neat strategy. You're getting near the end of a fuel run, and then maybe you stay out to get the points, but then maybe you just don't go in. Maybe you just stay in the front, because he probably could put another 5 laps on this. And maybe within those 5 laps, you get another yellow, and then you pit. And you remain with the draft. Of course, you'd be at the back of the pack, but I'm thinking it's too late in the fuel run. Chuck will probably pit. I also noticed that Chuck has changed his screen name to Chuck Taylor. It used to be Chuck T. He's actually put it in his full name. You can't hide from us. We already knew who you were. Yeah, coming down right now. So the race off pit road went to the 6. Actually load that up and see how close that actually was. Even though it's technically off pit road under yellow, it still counts. So we're going to check to see here. All right. Put it in super slow motion mode. You even see the 22 coming into the party there too. But he got him by almost a full car length. That's the thing, having a good pit stop here, man. You need to have it under green especially, but under yellow for that track position never hurts. As always, if you want to join Tarnation TV with actual co-hosts, you can do so the rest of the week. Rod will be back with me on Tuesday, September 16th. The High Voltage Racing League Maverick Cup Series goes to Bristol Motor Speedway on Tuesday night, live at 8:30 p.m. right here on this Tarnation TV channel. So if you happen to be subscribed to it, that'll pop up on your feed. A couple days after that, on Thursday, September the 18th, Rolling Thunder Gaming at Talladega Challenge. On Thursdays, they've been doing that for a long, long time. This is season number 66. Honored that they approached Tarnation TV to produce that. And then Seth Cole and Michael Norman or Kyle Matthews will actually commentate the race. I still open my trap a few times, but I don't have to. I can kind of run a little bit of a different production, a little bit more visual stuff going on sometimes, trying some different things because I'm able to sort of sit back and not talk as much. That goes live at 9 o'clock on Thursdays, and they're using the brand new version of Talladega, RTG version 4. John Godfrey, who's in this race, the 711, was talented enough to actually widen pit road at Talladega. So we got an extra lane almost when you're coming into the pits. Take some of the grass out and put down some more asphalt. So check that out on Thursday. And I've got those ones actually switched around. Yeah, it's not the 14th next. It's not the 14th next Sunday. It's the 14th right now. Forgot to change that. So anyway, it'll be prime time first on the 20th, and the 21st we'll be back here at ASR. Of course, I messed those up. But yeah, Primetime Racing League on Saturday goes live at 9 o'clock. We do the Saturday Shootout Series, which consists of 2 different tracks, shortened. Daytona, we run 40 laps. Primetime Superspeedway, which is the BSR version, which is kind of similar to the one you're seeing now, a little bit retextured. They run 40 laps at Daytona, 38 at primetime. 2 races in one night, so that'll be race number... What is it? I think it's race number 7 and 8, because we just did race number 5 and 6 last Sunday. And of course, just above that one, the ASR Super Speedway Series goes live at 7:30 right here. But Screwdrivers Raceway, September 21st. Gotta change that around a little bit, but it's just numbers. Wondering what's going on the track. The pace car lights are off. Brian Rawson gets lane choice, but he don't care. He's going to keep the lane that he's in. Right beside him, you've got Postal. Jeffrey Elliott in row 2 with Greg Palmer. Ken Roberts in row 3 with John Godfrey, who we were just talking about. The 80 of Ed Finley in row number 4 with Brad Otto, his teammate, right beside him. Brian Wolf in row 5, right beside Perry Bond. Row 6 is CCR Jacks right next to Chuck Taylor. David Chin's back there with Bergie, Mark Paglia, and Robert Spring. I'm not seeing Shalinsky out here today. All right, so we gained a couple people and lost a couple people. Brian was explaining to me too, football has started, so a lot of guys do different stuff on Sunday nights. What a launch there by Postal. He has his choice of lane now. I don't believe he jumped the gun. I'm going to watch the telemetry behind the scenes here to see if they give him a black flag for that. I don't think there's a couple of black flags near the back of the pack, but that's just going to be cleared by the administrators. That stuff happens on a restart. The leader can jump the gun, though. You are allowed to pass to the right on a restart. Yellow is back out. Just go back at the replay here and see if we can find what happened. I was busy looking at the tables. Don't do this to me. Yellow comes out right there, but I don't know why. Interesting. Debris caution. Bryant Wolf, Tarnation TV, Bryant Wolf.
Yeah. Hi, Blaine.
Reason for caution, sir.
Hang on a second.
I'm guessing it's just a debris caution. I can't find it.
Okay. Blaine, I'm sorry. That was my fault as admin. I guess I'm going to say this on TV, but that was my fault. I accidentally threw a yellow.
Oh, cool. Well, they're wrecking out there right now anyway, so you're good.
I see that.
Okay, so like what happens is...
Blaine, I'm sorry about that.
All good, buddy, all good. I kind of had a feeling something just sort of happened.
Yeah, that was my fault. I hit the wrong button trying to clear a black flag back there, trying to get the lucky dog his lap back, and just hit the wrong key and threw the flag, and everybody's saying, what happened? What happened? You know, I had to raise my hand and put the dunce cap on and sit in the corner.
All good, buddy. So there you go. You can type commands into the chat box here that will control the game. So unfortunately, some of those are bound and don't need to be confirmed. You can set the game to, like, when you push it, it actually just instantly sends it. So clearly Brian had that set up for a yellow flag and hit the wrong button. Postal retains first place. Of course, we can go back here and look at our statistics. Postal last week, he's currently in 10th overall. Followed by Rawson, who's right behind him in 11th overall. Respectively 1 and 2 right now. 16 drivers started the race this evening. So far, everybody is still running. Robert Spring was out there for the initial spinorama early in the race, and somehow they didn't pull a yellow out, but the last couple of yellow flag situations here helped him get back into it. You can see there the 74 of Robert Spring directly behind ASR Bergie in the 81. There's Chuck Taylor. Now this accidental yellow will change the fuel strategy. A lot of the times you can, under full power when you're running, you're burning X amount of fuel per lap. When you're doing that same lap under pace speeds, it kind of just doubles it. You only burn half. Some guys are taking advantage of this to go down pit road and top up again. Currently focused on the 80 of Ed Finley. He's going to decide to stay out. John Godfrey, Jeff Elliott, Perry Bond decide to duck back into the pits. What's it say for commentators? I'm the only one. Welcome to race number 2 of 8. They run 8 races here. They decided not to change the mod. It's such a cool looking mod, the Aero 88 mod. A big fan favorite. There's a core 6 or 7 mods that's kind of the go-to mods. Xfinity Series 2020, we got the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series mod from 2019. That's a big one. The new Gen 7 cars are out. That's another popular one. And I noticed that I'm so happy too. The Vintage Truck Series 1965, created by DMR, is being adopted by a lot of leagues as well. They're running that mod. That's such a cool looking mod. The old trucks. Great broadcast as usual. Blaine Nate Balser said that for some reason. I don't know why. I'm all by myself. I don't really know what to say when I got nobody to bounce anything off of. But, you know, we try our best. We try our best. I can actually play background music. In theory. Cool little tip. I found out a couple weeks ago that Robin Trower, you can just play it on your YouTube channel. They don't flag it. It doesn't get copywritten and nothing. So if I want to take a drink of water, I got no co-host to cover me. Follow Brian Rawson down pit road right now and listen to the sweet, sweet sounds of Robin Trower. It's a brand new record. Came out a couple of years ago. This guy's in his 80s, I think. Been doing this a while.
When to face the day seems way too hard. Come and find me. When your ship has run aground, you'll see. If you lose your way, you will be found. I will lay down a pillow for your soul. Come and find me. You won't have to look so very far. Find me when the light goes from the place where you are. I will lay down a prayer for your soul. I will fill the room with the colors of.
All right. Speaking of Nate Balser, make sure to check the description. It's not in there right now, actually, because what happens, I always take the previous race and just copy and paste the settings into the new race. I need to add a link to the description after this race is done. So if you check the description of this video, you'll see a link to Nate Balser's Race for the Cure, which will be running on the 27th of September at about 9 o'clock over at Flat Out Racing Network. Seth Cole will be running that broadcast, and I'll be his co-host. A series of coin tosses for Nate to come up with who's going to broadcast it, Tarnation TV or FRN. FRN won the broadcast, so Seth Cole's running that. Who's going to be the co-host? It's going to be me, Michael Norman, Kyle Matthews, Rod Weston. It was all the co-hosts in a big hat and I won that one too. So I will be co-hosting with Seth on the 27th of September. Race for the Cure, breast cancer awareness, little fundraiser that Nate Balzer's doing. Check the description after this race is over. I will update the description in this video with a link. You can donate. We heard right there the 88 of David Chin, on behalf of Bryant Motorsports, made a donation to the fund. And I know a lot have, because I actually checked it this morning. I think there's a goal of $500 or $600, and they're about 80% of the way there already, and we're not even close to racing there yet. So they will get through that for sure. Through that, that'll be cool. Great cause. All these tribute races and the fundraisers are always great causes. Any way we can help out and be a part is always very fun, and always a yes instantaneously. Look at these guys going for this. Jeff Elliott trying to make it 4 wide through the tri-oval. Like, you guys are out of your minds, but I love it. Look at this. They're looking almost 4 wide. They're not quite there. This track, you can do it. I've done it. I'm crazy. And if Jeff's behind you, he'll go with you, because he's crazy too. Brian Rawson in the 4th position. Chin and Postal. And the 81 right there, Berge. Berge just jumped up a few positions on that last lap. Oh, hard into the wall. Who's that? We got cars rolling. Oh, engine failure on the 22. And the 28, we may need the crane. He's trying to drive it out of the fence. See those wheels? The wheels are a-turning. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, Mark. Mark, you can't park there, buddy. We're going to need you to move. Mark is stuck inside the wall, or inside the fence. And he's trying to wiggle it out of there. You can see him shaking in the seat. He's trying to rock the car back and forth. Somebody needs to come along and give him a hand. He's trying. I mean, if the Tarnation TV drone could give you a push, I'd try. But it's not working. I think the 28, I don't know what he's going to do. Oh, here comes the pack. Is somebody going to give him a nudge? Let's watch with bated breath and see what happens. If somebody went up there and bumped him, that might have helped him. But they didn't. They didn't bother. So, yeah. The pits are open. Do we have any taker? Whoa. Oh, it's a 50, not even really a 50-50 split. There's Godfrey, there's Finley, Elliott, Otto, and Spring chose to come down. Usually the back half of the field will do that. I wonder if Paglia has called for a tow truck yet. Mark Paglia has retired, and so has Greg Palmer. We will actually load that up and see what caused this. So Palmer and the 28 got involved in this. These guys are almost going 4 wide. We were talking about it here, how crazy it was getting. And look at the bump drafting is glorious. Had to do the huge bump draft there. And then, oh, we just ran out of space. Chuck T. Okay, so the 22 blew up. We could ride on board with the 22. Yeah, right there. The flux capacitor let go right when it hit that stanchion. Well, let me tell you, that an engine blowing up like that does not smell like marigolds. That car is not running properly. 3G Greg Palmer in the 22. His race is done. You can see the 56 of Jeffrey Elliott back on pit roads. Finley working his way back around. Oh, we're back live here, not in the replay anymore. So let me see here. Just checking the qualifying here. John Godfrey qualified last. Did not take a time and just retired as well. So unfortunately, 3 cars, Palmer, Paglia, and Godfrey, have all retired within the last lap after that last incident. So why did Godfrey retire? Let's back that up. We're going to see if we can find out why the 7-Eleven decided to call it quits. Oh. We just had my game didn't crash. I think we had a server failure. Is there an internet outage? Nope, no internet outage. Okay, well, I guess it's a good thing we got tunes. We'll be back momentarily when we find out what happened.
Not worthy, we've been drowning in a sea of faceless noise. Bits of thoughts no one's owning. Wrong for wrong can't be the choice. Gather round, there's one idea. The future starts right here.
That was interesting. My game completely quit back to the main menu. It did not crash, which led me to believe it might have been a server issue, but maybe it was an internet hiccup on my half. Either way, we're still running. For some reason, my ticker's still working too. That makes no sense. I don't know what just happened, but you know what? That's my scientific explanation. Thanks everybody for watching this nonsense. As I try to fumble through this, why do we have to have these weird things happen is the best part. Lights are off on the pace car. We will go green next time around. 13 cars remain on the track. 16 started the race. They have been deleted from my ticker because I just got disconnected for some reason. Current leader is Postal, followed by David Chin and Berge. Look at that. ASR got all 3 top spots. Postal, Chin, and Berge. And then we've got Perry Bond, CCR Jacks, Brad Otto, Ken Roberts, Brian Wolf, Ed Finley, Chuck Taylor, Brian Rawson, Robert Spring, and Jeffrey Elliott. If I remember correctly, the 3 cars that retired were Paglia, Godfrey, and Palmer. And again, after this race is over, please check the description below to click on the link to support Nate Balser's race coming up on the 27th as we race for Cure. All donations to that link, the QR code, and all that good stuff we've provided. All donations go directly to breast cancer research. 2nd annual, I think, right, Nate? Nate's in the YouTube chat right now. Pretty sure it's the second year we've run it. Tarnation TV did the broadcast last time. This actually might be the third time. I can't remember if I did it twice. Because then we've got the ALS race. We've done that 3 times. The Canon races, we've done 5 or 6 of those. There's all kinds of awesome tribute races that go on. The Canon Hinnon races were kind of what got Tarnation TV started. At the beginning of lap number 29 is what you're staring at right now, green flag back in the sky as we continue to race. '16 started, 13 remain. The 88 of David Chin leading the race right now. 1 lap left for David, 10 by Postal, 6 by Roberts, 1 by Chuck Taylor, 1 by Ed Finley. Brian Rawson had led 7 laps. Jeffrey Elliott has led 2. Everybody getting a little piece of the pie here this evening. I'm running a high line, and they're all following, right? Because this is a drafting track. I'm interested. That's a much higher line than you normally see here running. So now they're going to try to start threading that needle on the bottom. Everybody's sticking with Chin. He is running the middle line now. Kind of brought her down a little bit. They're going to want to keep it a little bit tighter. That bottom line there, Brian Wolf, you can see Chuck Taylor just on the right side of your screen there. There comes a 47 of Brad Otto, driving that thing out of nowhere right to the back bumper of the 7. Keeping that middle line going strong. This track is phenomenal. If you get any amount of cars in a line here, as you can see, there's 4 on the bottom and about 5 or 6 on the top. So that top line is going to be the line. Oh, the 55 of Ken Roberts got a little squirrely there. Brian Rawson lifted a little bit, let him get back in. Good save, Ken. A Mountain Dew 55. But yeah, the meticulous tweaking behind the scenes to just fine-tune these tracks to just be just racing, man. Just so much fun. You can drive in any lane. If you got help, any lane at this track will work. From that yellow line right up to that wall. Like I said, I'm crazy enough to have gone 4 wide here with a maniac like, Ken Roberts behind you. I mean, all these guys know this track. And they'll help you. But you got to announce it, though, because that's the problem with the spotter. The spotter will only tell you that you're 3 wide. After that, he just says, hold your line. That's when you rely on other drivers on the track to be like, hey, you're 4 wide up there. That bottom line's got to watch them wash up. There's always a little bit of wash up. You can kind of see if we follow these guys on the bottom. Let's see here. If you hold your line right here, and always come out of that lane just a little bit. When it's 4 wide coming through there, that is super, super tight. You can't afford to do that, otherwise you squeeze everybody. Currently riding along with the 80 of Ed Finley. Brian Wolf back there looking up the middle. This is all happening right now at 195 miles per hour. With the 74 right there, Robert Spring just bumped the apron just a little bit, which is going to make Brian Wolf abandon him. Three wide from 8th place back. Interesting perspectives we can get on the track thanks to Tyler Mallon. Who's Tyler Mallon, you ask? Well, if you don't have free cam, you can't do what I just did and ride on the roof of that car and kind of use your mouse to move the camera around. Tyler Mallon designed a little utility for the game called Free Cam, which allows me to do all this cool stuff. However, it doesn't work with modified executables of the game. Only version 1201, if anybody cares about technical stuff. For instance, if I was ever to broadcast at Fast Racing League, I would not be able to use FreeCam because they use a custom executable which allows them to run different cautions and stages and stuff, so it's not compatible with FreeCam. Although I could reach out to Tyler, he's probably got a different version that works. We're watching Ed Finley still, just latched onto him. He's sort of in the 4th place position car, usually gets a lot of broadcast time because it kind of puts the camera in a good spot where you can literally see everyone. Brian Wolf and the 74 there, Robert Spring, trying to get that high line going. Spring not able to stay super close to Wolf. And that's the reason the middle line's able to stay ahead. Looks like Ken Roberts diving to the bottom, going underneath Brad Otto, and he will lead that lap, take the lead away from Brad. By the time this is finished, I have a feeling every single driver out here is gonna have led a lap. Jack's retired. What? I missed that. The 034 of CCR Jax retired a couple laps ago. Oh, he's under power. Man, did I miss something? I don't know. In the replay right now, going back to lap 28. Second gear, neutral, third gear. Looks like he's got all the gears. And then they abandon him. Oh, that might be it. Yeah, he never shifted out of third gear. He's in third gear, he's in third gear, he's in third gear. So that's it. It looks like he roasted 4th. Well, he didn't roast it. Sometimes the stuff just breaks. Yeah, he's only able to keep it at 170 right there because he does not have 4th gear. So CCR Jax is forced to retire. And that's where he comes to pits. And promptly retires. Back live here. Jeffrey Elliott right up beside Brian Rawson. I had to go back and see what happened to Jax. Transmission failure for CCR Jax. Jeffrey Elliott being pushed by Chuck Taylor. So one cool thing, it's like you get different leagues, different turnouts. The Talladega Challenge on Thursday, it's a very busy track. There's a lot of cars, and it's hectic. Great races. Lots of big, gigantic driver turnouts. But even here, when only about, 17 or 18 guys show up, it's just a little bit more space out here. You can see what these guys are doing. Like, they're almost going 4 wide here. Jeffrey doesn't know where he's going. Budweiser cars all over the place. That Spring right behind him, trying to get that middle lane lined up here. Perry Bond's back there at the back. Looks like he's tucking in behind the low line, behind Postal on the bottom. David Chin on the bottom line. That top line's working really good too. You got Rawson and Brian Wolf pushing the 55 of Ken Roberts. You got Chin and Spring pushing the 56 of Elliott, and then you've got Finley and Otto pushing the 18 of Chuck Taylor. And they're just kind of in a deadlock right now. If you had a couple guys in the back, there comes Perry. He's moving up to the middle. A couple of guys in the back kind of controlling the flow here. They can get that middle line working out. They're bailing on Brian Wolf. But Jeffrey's going to move to the top. Brad, Otto, and Finley stay on the bottom with Chuck. They have the option to move to the center, which tends to be, looks like we've got Spring and Chin are headed to the pits. Pit cycles aren't coming up. We are at lap 40 here. Pitting right now, you will need to pit one more time. You're only going to get about 19 or so laps out of a tank of fuel here. So there will need to be one more pit stop, and this, of course, is under green. So this is a big deal. You got to make sure you work it. Running out of a little bit of. Well, looks like they had a run on Chuck to the low side there, but they actually backed off. They would have ended up making that 3 wide, and it would have been really tight. Chuck does have room. He can make a lane choice right now. He can go with Roberts in the middle. He's just choosing to stay at the bottom. Probably because we're getting near the end of the fuel run here. They're going to need to pit soon. And that's where you want to be. You want to be down on that yellow line. The 2 cars in the center are holding their own. I'm surprised that that's able to happen. 4 guys on the bottom, but there's some gaps down there. That's why. You can see Postal and Spring, the 2 drivers that pit last time by. A little bit of a different strategy going with the ASR guys. And they'll be able to get into this draft because there's 2 of them, undamaged. They will be a lap down right now, but they will get that lap back, of course, once these guys decide to peel off. That's a good spot for them to be in, I believe. Now they're out of the thick mess that could happen if, 8, 9, 10 guys go all at once and end up causing a wreck. So they've already gone down. Lots of space with 2 cars, made their pit stop, get into the main pack draft like this. If the entire main pack does not pit at the same time, they will carry more speed. There's more cars, the merrier. The faster you go with more cars. Perry Bond peels off. You can see the 88, the 74, and the 7. Yeah, the 88 and the 7 are the 2 that went in. They're being shown lap down. Yeah. I'm curious what's going to happen here with the rest of these guys because they're all going to need to go eventually. If they all go at the same time, that just leaves Postal and Postal and Chin out there by themselves. If only half of these guys go, Postal and Chin can take advantage of that multi-car freight train. And then that other group comes out when the other group goes in. They'll be able to maintain high speed. They won't get railroaded as bad. But we'll have to wait and see what the strategy is. They went in early. But everybody will have to come in again. I always think that early might be a better call. You just have more time to sort of plan your next strategy move. And I bet you they're hoping that they don't all go in at the same time. So they're able to keep that speed up. So then they would come around, drop the rest of them, and then pick the rest of them up again. When that will happen, time will tell. They went in very early. They went in about lap 40, 41, so we're 5 laps past that now. The leader, Ken Roberts, right behind him, Brian Rawson, Chuck Taylor, Brad Otto, Ed Finley, Jeffrey Elliott, Brian Wolf. Lap car there of Berge, I believe. Yep. I wonder if his ASR brethren will pick him up. He's about to go 2 laps down right there. All right, we've got some takers. Looks like Wolfpack is headed down. Oh, and Brian Wolf got turned around. Under green, that is bad. Brian Wolf pitting with the Wolfpack team. Green flag conditions, you're going to lose a lot of track time. A lot of time on the track will be lost trying to get your car turned around on pit road.
Blaine, sorry to interrupt. You don't want to see that. That's not my best work there.
Yeah, roger that. All right, we'll see what's going on here. Who's going in? And we probably got the rest of them. Ken Roberts, Ross, and Taylor, and Elliott. And we've got 74 of Spring. So these guys pit first. Those guys between the laps. What is happening? No. No. I don't know why. I've never had this issue before. It's just disconnecting me. It's not even crashing. Maybe it's a core issue? I have the core though. That's the problem. We had core issues a long time ago. That was part of the main reason. Yeah, me again. I don't know what's going on, but I apologize. Anyway, we're back in the race here. 88 of David Chin. The 7 of Postal, pitted first. Find the first place car here. Here we go. The Brian Rawson, currently in first place with Ken Roberts. So we got the 3-car stack here you're looking at of Chuck Taylor, Ken Roberts, and Brian Rawson. Your top 3. Position number 4 is Jeffrey Elliott, being tailed by Robert Spring. Position 6, David Chin and Postal, with Ed Finley. The other part of the Wolfpack back there, Brad Otto. Unfortunately, CCR Jacks had to retire. And you've got Perry Bond in position 10. Bergie and Brian Wolf. All 3 of these guys are also on the lead lap. The only car a lap down, it is Bergie. Bergie is 1 lap down. But there is only 12 cars remaining. So yeah, we'll put up the interval here. You can't really see the car numbers because of this new ticker, but we've got the 88 with about 5 seconds behind the leader in 6th position. They're actually pulling away, which makes sense because there's only 2 of these guys. This is interesting because they're going to catch, so the 56 and let me see here. Jeffrey Elliott, the 56, the 74, Robert Spring running in a 2-pack. These guys will catch them because there's 3 of them. Although Ed Finley needs to get closer to the bumper of Postal in the 7. They want to make that, if they want to make that thing work. But he is holding on to the draft. He's doing it. Goodness.
For the world, just a little bit of freedom, freedom, slide into the dark or step into the light. Decision needs some juice now to bind it all up tight. With each excuse you slow down, slow it to a crawl. The
Driver,
next ride you
to your car.
on could bring it on. There's only one go around. You only get one go around.
Okay.
Choose a life and then it's
I put in the core again. I don't know if I messed the core up. I've never had the game quit like that. So, before we left, guess what happened? The 88 and the 7 have found the 74 and the 56 and passed them. David Chin currently in 4th place. Let's see if we have flag states. We do. Let's see if we have lap counter. We don't. How about that? Okay, we're currently on lap 56. Lap 56 is coming up, so we're coming up to 10 to go. Gotta get the laps up there. There it is. Bottom left-hand corner of your screen. We're going to run a janky version of a lap counter. Bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Bottom left-hand corner. That's a funny sentence to say. Anyway, we're currently focused on David Chin in the 4th position. And then we've got Chuck Taylor in 3rd. These guys are still running tight up here. This is your top 3. Brian Rawson, Ken Roberts, and the 18 of Chuck Taylor. Now, the gap to 4th, now that Chin, Postal, Elliott, Spring, and Finley are all kind of around each other right now. If these guys could get it straightened up, they could run these guys down. You will see that little black box up there in the top left of your screen. The 6.75 is Chin. When he hits the line, we'll see the gap to the leader change to a... It stayed the same. So they didn't gain anything that last lap because they were kind of racing each other. You don't want to do that. Well, I guess you can kind of see, you know what? I'll leave that up there too. Because we've got the lap counter at the top there. We can do that. Now, if these guys can stay in line, see, Jeffrey Elliott keeps popping out there. And Spring and Jeffrey have been working together all night. And will follow. The problem with that is they're not going to gain any speed. Okay. as last time pitting early. Chin and Postal headed down early. Let's see if the 6.75, what it will say now. 712. So yeah, they're actually pulling away. This front pack is pulling away from those guys. So if my calculations are correct, everybody pitted, what, at lap like 47 or so. Oh, you know what? I wonder if they can actually make it. If they were able to conserve a little bit, some of these guys might actually be able to make it to the end because it is only 66 laps. From lap 47, it could happen. It looks like Chin and Postal got split up. Something happened to somebody because they came in together. Somebody might have overshot their pit stall under green. That's huge. I believe it might have been Postal. Yep. He has to back up. Yeah, he lost a lot of time on pit road there. So now, unfortunately, he's running by himself. The top three remains the same. The 6, the 55, and the 18. The 7 in lap. He's 10th position. 4th position with Jeffrey Elliott. Now, this is shaping up to be pretty neat. I like it when it turns out this way because you know a lot of these guys, they race here all the time. The yellows come out at specific times. Change your strategy. Always changing. Do you take tires at all? You don't really need them here at Talladega. I mean, you do, but you don't. I mean, if you're going to get fuel, you might as well take 2. So most drivers tend to alternate back and forth between right sides only, left sides only. Makes the pit stop a little bit faster. And since they're putting a can of gas in the car, you might as well just get 2 anyway. But now we're getting into the last 5 laps or so. Do we see anybody else come to the pits? I'm not sure. We'll stay locked on with the leaders here. We're within 5 of the finish, so... Okay. Very interesting. This is going to be good. I mean, it's going to be... These guys are actually running much, much slower than they could be in a 3-car pack. Their speedometer, which you cannot see because it's above the black line there. It's actually running at 190. So these guys are not, they are not going full speed. They are conserving fuel. This pack is doing the same thing. They're 193. But at the line, they are not really reeling them in too much. A little bit. It went from a 7.1 down to a 6.8. They're more so, I think, relying on the fact that maybe somebody's going to run out of gas. See, right here, they're showing a 191. Ken Roberts in the middle of these two guys, 191, 192 miles an hour. Usually it's up near 198, sometimes 200. It's 3 cars. It wouldn't be 200, but major fuel conservation going on right now. Postal and Chin are both 1 lap behind, but can definitely make it to the end because they took that extra pit stop. Now we're just waiting to see if somebody got to run out of gas. Because, yeah, at the end of lap 46 with the pits, we're talking 19 laps, right to 66. And you can get about 19 or 20 laps out of this, and they are conserving gas. Even cars that are running by themselves, Perry Bond right there, he's running 175. Alone with no damage, you can do about 180. So everybody's in a little bit of a mild fuel conservation mode, I think. We are coming up to the white flag, this time past the stripe. There will be one lap to go. And we will not veer away from this main pack led by Brian Rawson. Ken Roberts and Chuck Taylor. I didn't know what Chuck was doing right there. I think he might have been trying to help the 88 out. Just by breaking up the draft a little bit. I mean, maybe they're not conserving, but I have a feeling they are. I have a feeling 3 cars can travel faster than 190. Yeah, you can see they're only running 7,000 RPM. Does anybody try to go for it? Looks like all 3 of them want to go for it. Ken Roberts to the outside. Who's Chuck Taylor? Who is Chuck Taylor going to help right here? This is the question, because Chuck Taylor decides to help the 6th to the win. I think Chuck had, that was Chuck. 100%. The race right there with Ken Roberts stepping out to the right side of Rawson. Chuck had the choice. Who do I push? And he stuck with Rawson. I don't know if these guys are going to have enough fuel to do any kind of burnout at all. He might just do the burnout right here. Congratulations to Brian Rawson. Fuel conservation mode for every single driver on this track, except for Chin and Postal. And these guys made it happen. So cool to see that. I love it when it comes down to a fuel mileage race. See if he's got enough gas to do a burnout. So far, so good. There he goes. Come on, baby. He might not. He might not have enough gas left in the thing. Oh, we go in reverse. Your race winner, the number 6, Brian Rawson. We'll flip this over here, and I'll save up the replays and all that good stuff. I don't know what I apologize for the technical difficulties, how it kept disconnecting me. I don't know what the issue was there. I put in the core again. Maybe I grabbed the wrong one. That's all I can think about. Would be the only explanation. But thank you very much for watching race number 2 of season 2 here at ASR. Get all my stuff saved up, and then we'll talk to some podium finisher.
Bring it to an end. So far from ever winning. Faults I can't defend. Nothing beginning. Take it all away. Take this hurt away. Take this hurt away.
What a fun race, huh?
Yeah, it was. We kind of got split up there. The group got split up, but man, you hung in there. Had a great pit stop with the two guys that with first and second. And I blew mine, but I come down here just to help Blaine do the little bit of interviews. So, Blaine, you can take it away, or that was a good race.
Yeah, it was a fun race. The fuel strategy is crazy. We were watching Chin and Postal do the whole pit stop thing. I'm thinking, I'm running the numbers going, you guys can make it to the end. And you had the option when Roberts slung out to the right side of Ross, and I'm going, well, Chuck can determine the winner here, I think. Who's he going to decide to push? And he decided to go with the 6.
Yeah, I thought maybe I might be able to get on the side of in there. And I just missed it by what, 10,000ths of a second? Get second place. I think the difference was the stop. 3 of us we nailed that stuff.
The pit stops are crazy. I love it when we get all these green flag pit stops and it breaks everybody up. You had a pack behind you guys. Were you even paying attention to them? Because they were kind of just racing each other. They weren't really catching you guys.
Well, we nailed that pit stop. 3 of us came out together. And when we did, we just started pulling away a little by little on them. So after a few laps, I think we were just pulling away, so I didn't even pay attention to them. I was kind of in a fuel mileage mode there too at the end, and worked out. Good time.
Yeah, man, it was a great race. Race number 2, the track change. Are you a big fan of the track change?
I really am. I like this track a lot better, a lot more drivable.
Yeah, you can pretty much go anywhere you want on this track. That's what we were talking about before. Like that BSR track, it's basically flawless when it comes to the racing at Talladega with the setup that they have for it. It's unreal. If you've got a couple of buddies, you could drive anywhere on that thing from the yellow line right up to the wall.
Yeah, and you seen the groove moved around all night. We run the bottom to start with, and we second lane, and we were all the way up top, and then we were back down to the bottom. So it was a good track and good racing on it. Strategies were everywhere tonight. Everybody had a little bit different strategy, and
yeah,
I
it's
kind
always
of messed up a couple ones there and got behind. I got a couple black flags, but that worked out in the end too.
Yeah, man, always fun to watch you guys do what you do. It's cool. I got to get out there and start racing with you guys, but the broadcasting needs to be done too. So I'm up in the booth for the time being. But yeah, man, thanks for coming out on a Sunday and making the field 19 deep. It's a lot of options on Sundays. It's cool to see all these guys showing up.
Yeah, it is. It's a good field tonight, and like I say, it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
My car would do just anything I asked of it tonight. So,
that's
Anybody you
nice.
want to shout out to, Chuck?
oh yeah, I want to shout out to Keith and his family, and hope his family the best.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Chuck. Awesome race tonight. Congratulations on the 3rd place finish. We'll let you go, and we'll move up the list here. We'll talk to Ken.
10-4.
All right, you have a good night. Thank you guys for putting this on. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, unfortunately, I gotta step away for a minute. So what I'm gonna do is Roberts and Rawson down here at the same time. I'm gonna say a few words, and then I'm gonna let you take it away with those guys.
All right, I'll bring them in. There they are. Ken Roberts and Brian Rawson live on Tarnation TV. Brian, what do you got?
No, I had to step away for a minute, so I wanted to bring these guys down. Second and first place. Congratulations, Brian Rawson. That was a top-notch pit stop both you guys had there. You can really see you guys working together. I so appreciate you guys coming out and racing with us on Sunday nights. Ken, you especially. I mean, want to apologize to you guys for my blunders tonight. I accidentally threw that yellow caution, the second one. And I
don't think Rawson cares too much.
We'll play. Well, no, but I mean, we'll play around with it a little bit because I got Ken on my whisper saying, what are you doing? Come on, man. Here's what you got to do. Hit this button, and you hit the wrong one, and there you go. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so confused. So I am new to the admin thing. I'm still learning. I'm still kind of getting my bearings with it or not. But congratulations to both you guys, first and second. And again, we dedicate, as a league, we dedicate this one to Charlie Kirk and his family. God rest his soul. And I'm going to step away, and I'm going to go back up into the lobby for the reviews, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Ken, take her away.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ken, we're watching that come down to the finish there, and you sling out beside Rawson, and we were talking to Chuck, like he had the option to go with either one of you guys. But it was a great race, and then all down to fuel strategy. How much are you guys conserving? Because I saw you floating around 190 mile an hour. So you guys weren't using the whole throttle.
No, I was conserving big time because I personally was really, really close, and I didn't really have a chance to, take a stab at the lead until the very end. And, so I was just riding, take the good finish. Friday and Saturday, both races there, I got bit by the fuel mileage. So tonight I told myself, I'm going to top off every chance I get. Mm-hmm. And so it was good to finish on the better side of one of these fuel mileage races.
Yeah, it's so cool that fuel mileage always comes down to it too. When you get these green flag runs, and it breaks the field up. There's mistakes on pit road sometimes, and it just I'm running the numbers going, I don't think these guys can make it, and then most of you did. And it you never really know. I'm going, okay, they pitted on lap 47. That's really close. And then within about 10 laps to go, I noticed even the pack behind you guys that was coming to get you, they weren't really trying, I don't think, because they were doing the same thing. They were floating around 190, 191. I think everybody knew they had to run a little bit slower. And that's about 8, 9, 10 mile an hour off pace.
Oh, yeah,
3
definitely.
or 4.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the other things too is, Rawson had, he went down to the bottom, he shortened the track, to try to, you try to get every drop you can get. So we run the bottom there probably the last 10 or 12 laps of that fuel run. But yeah, the pit stop was awesome. Me and Brian and Chuck really got out quick. I was shocked how far out in front we was. So I figured they had some kind of problem or something, but we got out there, and I think it was Jeff and somebody else was behind us, and they were about 4 seconds behind us or so. But it was just two cars, and we had a 3-car tandem. So I knew we would pull them guys, and then they got together as a group of 5 or 6. But then 2 of those guys had to drop off to go get gas. So we were about 7 seconds, and I said, yeah, that group's not the threat. Now it's just the gas tank is the threat. So we stretched it as best we could, clutching, burping, all the little tricks to keep it running. And we come into that last lap, and I had ones across the board, and I said, well, my only chance is going to be try to jump him on the outside coming off a 4, and maybe he'll run out. But he didn't. So, but good win there, Rawson.
Yeah,
appreciate that, man.
So are you guys in communication? Even you might not be teammates every single week, but you guys talk a lot. Like, hey, let's go now. Like, you're not all. You have to pit together to make it work.
Yeah, we did communicate about it together and stuff, because he went in the pit stops before, he was going in and topping off at the same time I did. So I know he was on the same strategy I was.
Right. Yeah. And I'm wondering, I mean, it's just when you work together with different people, you just, and the race ends up being as good as it is. And even with 60, I think there was only 19. I mean, my game quit on me a couple times. I don't even know why. It just disconnected me. It was weird. So I lost some of the names at the bottom. I think there was 19 that started, right? My export is incomplete.
60.
Was it 16?
16. Yeah.
Yeah, so it is complete, but it's missing names. But yeah, anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that. It's just a great race to watch. And I wonder, like, they set this up with 2X, 1X, 3X. It never matters. It always comes down to fuel. I love it. And no big wrecks.
You get these long green flag runs, and then you get a green flag pit stop in there. Usually, you get the field separated, and then you go into the I call it the pack mentality. You got to get in these packs, to gain any position, and then you can, if you do have another flag or another pit stop coming up, you got to try to time those, and me, Chuck, and Brian all timed ours right there at lap 20. So that we could maximize, so it worked out good for us.
Yeah, man. Congratulations again on the second place. I thought it was close. Like, what was the interval was super close between you and Chuck. You were 0.05 and Chuck was 0.06. So almost a photo finish there for second place. But yeah, man, you want to throw down any shout outs or whatever you got to do to let it rip?
Just like to thank Brian for putting this on, and all the guys here at ASR that come out and race, and you got a lot of different leagues coming together here and race, and we're still figuring out how to race around one another and stuff. So there's a lot of fun. And then thank Blaine and Tarnation TV for coming out and broadcasting these races. Are always fun to go back and watch afterwards. And you do some amazing things, Blaine, with the cameras and all that stuff. I was watching last night's race and how you guys got in Chris's car and and showing people how they clutch.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool. But I thank Rodney Solins for my paint job. It's one of my favorites. The Mountain Dew, the old 88 Mountain Dew car. It's pretty cool. And Rawson's got a pretty cool car too for being the Budweiser car is pretty cool. So Rodney does those up. Rodney does amazing work on these things, and he don't normally get the credit he deserves, but thank my teammates. Fun racing with those guys. Of course, they didn't make it tonight, so they got out kind of early. So, but good race overall, and hope to be back next week.
Awesome, man! Congratulations, Ken. Thanks. Kick him out of here. Mr. Rawson, congratulations on the win, man. I was wondering if you're going to have enough fuel left to even do a burnout. You led 27, like the most laps led tonight, and that can tend to burn a little bit more fuel than the guys who were latched on behind you.
Yeah, I was wondering if I was going to make it, which I did barely. It was crazy when I got to the burnout. I lost first gear. I couldn't even burn out.
I was wondering what was going on. It seemed to be sticking. I was like, oh, he's out of gas. But yeah, you need first to get her spinning. And then you went to reverse. You figured it out pretty quick.
Yeah, I still had a little bit of gas. That's why I threw it in reverse. And I was like, I guess that's perfect timing.
Yeah, because we noticed, I can't remember who it was last fourth. Like I said, I lost the names on my export there. But yeah, there was I think it was Jack's earlier in the race lost fourth gear. So there was a couple of transmission issues tonight. But yeah, the track change, tires are never really an issue here. So never talk about tires, but gas is always pretty awesome. What are you doing from first when you're leading? Like, you can't really burp, Ken was saying how you guys burp the throttle to sort of just save little bits here and there. And over the course of 20 laps, that amplifies. You might save half a lap of gas. Can you do anything when you're in the front, breaking all the air like that, like without causing a wreck?
Not really. I mean, you're kind of just open for I think the one thing that saved us tonight, we had a 3-car pack, and we wasn't going as fast as normal, so we were definitely burning a lot less fuel. But you really can't save gas out front. I guess the only time you're going to save gas is if the caution comes out, I guess. But we had a good 3-car pack, and we had a pretty good run. We had really good pit stops. I was really surprised how far we came out in front of everybody, and it all turned out good.
Yeah, the pit stops are great all the way around. There was some guys in the back had some issues, and obviously they're not in the winner's circle. But you came into this race. I mean, it's only race number 2, but you had 11th last Monday or last Sunday, and then you come in here tonight and you win the thing. So now you're these points again every week. Do a big shuffle. David Chin was at the top. Now he's closer to the back in 11th tonight. So a lot of movement on the standings. Do you plan to be here for all 8 of these races?
Yeah. I mean, I do. I mean, stuff comes up, but that's in my plans, and hopefully I'm able to. Actually, I didn't think I was going to make it tonight. To be honest with you, it just kind of worked out at the last minute. I think I got here like 5 minutes before the qualifying. So
nice. Yeah, Brian and I were looking at the numbers. There's only about 7 guys in here with about half an hour to go. And then right at the 11th hour, we cranked her up to 16 guys started. So the whole thing, everything just multiplied. Everybody knows when the race starts, and they wait until the last second to come pile it in. But as always, man, an awesome race to watch. A big run under green to the finish with the green flag pit stops. If you want to thank whoever you got to thank, and we'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah, definitely. Ken Roberts, man, he was a good pusher, great pit stops. Thank Brian Wolf and everybody who puts us on ASR. Blaine, you great broadcast, man. It's always fun to go back and watch these kind of things, and
I hope it's good.
Thank all the racers. Yeah, thank all the racers to come out and have a good time, man, and thank all my RPM teammates. It's always a good time, man. And just appreciate everybody that comes out and just has a good time. It's what it's all about.
Yeah, the name of the game. And you know what? We do enough broadcasting all week. We'll probably see you again in another league in a few days. And who knows? Maybe back in the winner's circle again.
Yeah, I hope so. And and definitely want to thank Roddy Solons. He does all the paint for all my cars, and he does a lot for this for the game in general. All the leagues, and he don't get enough credit for going. All the stuff he does, and I definitely appreciate all that stuff from him too.
Yeah, he's talented. He's a talented guy. But yeah, man, as always, thanks to all the drivers who come out here and do what they do, and congratulations on the win, Mr. Rawson.
No deal, man. Take care, man. God bless.
Thanks, buddy. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
And there you go. Bryant Rawson in the 6 car finds his way to the end of this thing under crazy fuel conserve mode. Always neat to see guys, live in the cars, running the numbers in their heads, and seeing, how far can we get, and when do we have to pit to make sure we can get there. And, it's just absolutely wild how they come up with it sometimes. You think they can't make it, and they prove you wrong every time, or it's the exact opposite, one way or the other. I gotta change that date on here. What's that date? 21st. September 21st. It's in the wrong order, but now at least the date's right. Tuesday, we're back here again at Maverick, Bristol. Thursday, we're at Talladega Superspeedway, the Talladega Challenge, RTG. And down at the bottom of the list there on the 20th of September with the PRL, the Saturday Night Shootout, Daytona and Primetime Superspeedway, and then right back here again, the 21st at the BSR version of Talladega Superspeedway for race number 3 here at All-Star Racing Network. Thanks again to all the drivers who come down and do what they do so we can broadcast this stuff. Massive thank you to, of course, David Chin and Bryant Motorsports Auto Sales for the sponsorship, Season 1 and Season 2. And, of course, all the viewers that are a fan of the channel, to subscribe to the channel, interact with the channel live when we're live, comment after we're offline. Like I said, once we go offline tonight, pay attention to that description box. Nate Balser's race coming up in a couple weeks on the 27th, hosted by FRN. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's an 85-lap race at Talladega, so it's a long race. But it's Race for a Cure. All donations go to the breast cancer research and all that good stuff. So that's hosted by Nate Balser. Like I said, I'll stop this video and update the info. You can click on the link and make a donation if you want to. And as always, thanks to Robin Trower for not suing me for using his music. And if the women don't find you handsome, how do I end this thing? Yeah, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.